This is We Burlesque. This is the music that made we, and I am Victor Devon, and through the miracle of fiber optics, I get to talk to nightless individuals in the field of drag, burlesque, and cabaret about the songs that make up their personal playlist. These songs might be from their childhood, it might be what they do on stage, it might be what they listen to when they need a moment to not be on stage. We're going to find out together. And I'm very excited to welcome back to the pod, Twen Peeks, everyone. Hello, hello.
Hi.
So, big move.
Yeah,
Where
just
the hell are
just a
you?
little puddle jump. So we left New Orleans as of Christmas Eve of 2025.
Oh.
Yeah. Technically on the 23rd, I think. Time is weird.
Mm.
And we
Well, it
landed
changed too
in
when you got there too.
by 8 hours. Yeah, we moved to Cologne, Germany,
Oh,
and got here Christmas Eve, and our first day here was Christmas Day, so it was really nice.
oh,
And
very
then got to move
lovely.
into our new apartment literally the night before our wedding anniversary. So Tier and I got to spend our fourth wedding anniversary waking up to our new life and our new apartment.
Wow.
So
I
very
would imagine
romantic and kitschy.
Christmas in Germany just sounds very
Ah,
like otherworldly. It sounds
I
like
will
a
have to let you know. We didn't really get to see much of it, most everything, because we were, in the middle of getting stuff over, getting our cats over, at that point, and there was other stuff going on. Um, so really didn't get to see much of the Weihnachtsmarkt.
mm,
Um, yeah, but we're really looking forward to doing so this year.
nice. How was the
Yeah.
travel with the cats? Because you have two,
Uh,
right? You have one on the lap right now, right?
Yes, we have three cats altogether.
Three.
They did, and yes, this is Isis.
Hey,
Say
yo.
hi.
Oh my goodness.
She's our love bug. She loves everybody and also is the biggest bully and just troublemaker. She is
Mm,
mischief on 4 feet. I love her.
that's oh.
Yes, she's my problem child.
Mm.
But yeah, so she was actually, ironically enough, she was the easiest one for the travel. The other two were not so great. I
Mm.
will have to let Tyr regale you with his story of the cat that he took and the 4 hours that they spent in the airplane bathroom. She was having an upset tummy issue. But
Oh.
yeah, it's not great for him. Luckily, my
Mm.
mother-in-law and we had a slightly easier time of it with our two cats that we had, because we had to sort of divide and conquer. It was a whole thing.
Oh my
But
goodness.
yeah,
Yeah. What was
they
how
did
long
really
is the
well.
flight? How long is the flight from New Orleans to Cologne?
I think all total, because we had to take a connection. So my mom and I, we went from New Orleans to Atlanta to Frankfurt, and then here because airplane rules and regulations about pets and everything, he had to go from New Orleans to New York to Frankfurt. And we all ended up landing at the same time or roundabout. So it really
Mm.
wasn't that big of a deal. But yeah, it was a journey. And I
Yeah.
think all told it was about 16 hours or so.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot.
That's
Yeah.
a very long time. It's a very long time.
Yeah. So like
So,
I said, just a quick little jaunt.
yeah. What necessitated the move?
Gestures broadly at everything,
Mm.
um,
There was a
short
time people were
version.
running away from Germany for similar reasons.
Yeah. Don't get
Did
me
you have
started
you
on how
indulged
many.
in the irony of that?
Oh, 1,000%. The number of times I have made the joke about us fleeing to Germany to escape the Nazis is wild.
It writes itself. Yeah.
It is. It does. But yeah, my husband is Filipino, visibly, and I know what I look like, but I am Chicana.
Mm.
And I am also really, really dumb when it comes to like seeing shit in person.
Mm.
So it was very much one of those things of like, we knew that if we didn't get out and something were to happen or we were to come across a scene, that the likelihood that I would make it out okay is not high. Or like
Mm.
if, you know, issues, with ICE being in New Orleans and if Tier were taken and it just, we were very fortunate that we were able to make the move to get out.
Yeah.
And I'm actually really glad we did because as we've been here and as we've gotten to meet people, and we've been very lucky, we've made a lot of friends over here. But a lot of Europeans don't know how bad things are in the States.
Oh.
And every time we talk to somebody, well, they'll ask us essentially the same question of, oh, why the
Mhm.
move? And we start
Well,
telling
I
them,
mean,
and
why Germany specifically too? Because that seems
yeah,
like a very specific choice
yeah.
of
Well,
all places.
for us, logistics were one of the bigger things. I speak a little bit of German already,
Okay.
and so I want to go for my citizenship. And Germany actually has a complicated but fairly straightforward citizenship process
Okay.
that I'm actually a good fit for. So we're gonna try and do that here in a few years.
Nice. Well, I
Yeah.
look forward to seeing how you conquer, maybe bad choice of words. How you
I share my presence.
yes, with
Yeah.
Germany specifically. What is it like performing? We'll get to the music in just a second, but since we're
Mm.
catching up,
Mm.
what how is performing in Germany been for you?
Uh, Locally here in Cologne, there's not a whole lot, but there are plans in the works. Hint, hint, hint,
Hmm.
hint, nudge, nudge. That I'm keeping quiet about for right now, but
Okay.
plans are in the works.
All right.
Now that said, Germany festivals, or German festivals, excuse me, I can words.
Yeah.
German festivals have been absolutely amazing. I got to do Mainz in March, and then I'm going to the Bavarian Burlesque Festival and the Frankfurt Burlesque Festival back to back in October. And so that's going to be amazing. I'm really looking forward to it. I've gotten to meet so many performers from across Europe at
Yeah.
all these festivals already. And just everybody here is so nice. They've been so kind. Everyone has
Mm.
been so helpful and so just genuinely like quick to, oh, hey, how are you? How's it? Like the community and the welcome that I've been very fortunate to receive has been just mind-boggling.
Hmm.
I was expecting there to be some sort of like, American, or something. I don't know.
Sure. No, I mean, makes
But
perfect sense. It's a little embarrassing to say where we're from
yeah,
right
a little
now.
bit.
I
Yeah.
mean, I remember that being the case after 9/11 with George W. Bush. And I know that there are some
Mhm.
people that sort of feel nostalgic for that era. Don't fall into
Uh,
that trap, people. Don't fall into that trap.
don't.
Idiocy is
Mm-mm.
idiocy. Don't let's not.
We don't need a repeat. I mean, I know we're getting one, but we don't need,
Well,
we
it's
don't
also
need
this
it.
revision. It's almost like, oh, wasn't he quaint? Like, no. I mean,
No, he was
probably a
a
war
war
criminal is
criminal
yeah.
too.
We don't
Yeah.
need to
Uh,
idealize that era. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. No, 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 no.
Mm. Well, I thank you for being a part of this. We're gonna go through your list. You had an
Yeah.
assignment of 10 songs that you needed
Yeah.
to choose. Um, and you run a very interesting gamut, and I'm very excited to get through these with you. Tell me about what we're picking first.
Okay, so I just one, I appreciate that you said it's interesting because I thought this was the most tragically millennial uh list. So I'm glad you found it interesting. But the very first one I start with, because I wanted to go kind of chronological.
Okay.
And so the first one I want to start with is Oh Wolfie
Mm.
from I had to pull this up because I could not remember. Swing Shift Cinderella. It's one of the old Tex Avery cartoons, and it's Little Red Riding Hood and one of her many Tex Avery variations.
Hmm.
And she's singing to this cartoon wolf, and I, I have
Everyone knows
always
it. Even if you don't think you know it. It's that
we
quintessential, like, it's
yes.
almost, who does she based on? She
Wait,
looks
can
kind
I
of like Betty
sing?
Grable-ish.
A little. She was modeled after a little bit of Betty Grable, a little bit of oh my God, I'm forgetting her name, and I'm Rita Hayworth.
Oh, that makes
She's
sense.
a
Sure.
combination of a few.
But her hair is up
Uh,
too. It's like in that
hmm
like interesting sort of bouffant.
Yeah, her hair was
Yeah.
modeled after the not Sid Charisse, the other one, the blonde that was in White Christmas.
Oh,
Oh, where's Helen Hales when I
Rosemary
need her?
Cleaner?
Clooney,
Clooney?
Rosemary
Clooney.
Clooney. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So her hair was kind of modeled after her.
Okay.
Yeah. But so I grew up watching these cartoons because I was largely raised with and by my grandparents. And so, sat down in front of Saturday morning cartoons, it was often Looney Tunes. And Tex Avery specifically, those cartoons always had such a huge impact on me as a kid. Like there are pictures of me and my little sassy pull-ups just posing, arm up and everything. My grandparents used to call me Sarah Bernhardt, which for those who don't know was the actress a very very famous actress in the 30s for silent films.
One of the first like mega stars.
Legends. Yes,
yeah.
Thank you. And I had never really looked into her until recently, while doing homework for this. But yeah, so being a showgirl has always been there for me, and these cartoons, I swear, are a big reason why. Like just the aesthetic, the vibe, the everything. I just loved the attention these characters got, while also having autonomy and, while also having their own, granted in little 30-second clips, right? But their own sort of like their desires, their wants, their thing. This girl just wants to sing and dance and get her paycheck and go, sir. Leave her alone.
Showgirl.
Exactly. She just wants to do her show and go home, have a good time. And so I've always just loved these cartoons so much.
Yeah. So this is, if you've seen The Mask, where they're referencing the sort of roll down the tongue, the eyes. It's really funny. It's sort of the woman holds out the power, and yet it sort of has like this interesting misogynistic lens, but there's almost like a charm about it. Like it's sort of.
Yeah, and that was one of the things. I actually recently watched like a compilation video, a lot of these old cartoons, specifically from Tex Avery. And when you really start putting them together, you realize that man really loved burlesque. Like really went to, watched, enjoyed. Like so many of those cartoons are modeled after. I mean, beat for beat, they're burlesque numbers.
Yeah,
and it's so interesting. Like, yes, now looking back at it, we see the very, misogynistic overtones. And yet, I feel like in a lot of them, not all of them, obviously, there's still the element of these characters are doing this because they want to, not because they're being forced to, not because
they're
they
being
have
sort of
to.
revered too.
Yes, it was always coming from a place of like, when you look at it, these men were often depicted as powerless almost. They are, enraptured. They're captivated. They can't help but be this way.
Bewitched.
And yes, thank you. And I always loved that sort of idea. And even as a kid, I realized like, oh, I could do that. And so I remember distinctly being like 5 or 6 and practicing that little shoulder roll, because I just thought that like, oh, well, if that's all it takes. And turns out in some cases that's true. So
valid.
Right.
Well, fabulous. This is from the Tex Avery collection. This is Oh Wolfie, performed by Imogen Lynn.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Pin Up Come to Life. That is
I
Oh
love
Wolfie.
it.
Yeah.
I love her.
It's you actually had made me go through a little bit of a rabbit hole with looking up this one, because it is of its relative obscurity. And we talked off the record about songs that are on and off streaming. That is not on easily available.
No, you can't find it anywhere.
Yeah. So that one was sourced from YouTube, fortunately. But yeah, Imogen Lynn was a bit of a voice dubber for actresses who couldn't sing. In a similar way that Marnie Nixon became famous for that later in life.
And so is our next song. Same thing.
Yes. But this sort of I don't know, this sweetheart sort of sensibility. Folks at home, you missed a little bit because I have to put the lyrics up for the video version. But Twen was doing the shimmy.
Yeah, I love that song so much. I love her character as well. She's such a delight, and I was always drawn to all of those like showgirly, saloon girl characters in all of the old
Mhm.
cartoons. Like, the Rescuers, Five O Goes West, all of those like little saloon girl characters. Like those were
Yeah.
always the ones I wanted to play. So I'm fairly certain
Well,
that's a little bit of where like my pinup fascination started.
I mean, if you really think about it, like we don't really have it right now with our sensibilities in our Disney, DreamWorks, whoever else is
Mhm.
doing sort of the thing. But like you go back to like Rockadoodle or The Great Mouse Detectives or
Yes.
any of these reverent sort of
That sort of Renaissance
themes.
era.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And these characters are a lot of our for our generation and around that same time. You're a little bit younger, but I think we just barely share a generation
Mhm.
on the cusp.
Yeah.
It changes all the time.
I know.
Um, I mean, do you qualify as Z? Have you done the
No,
math?
I am firmly in the middle of millennial. I'm
Okay,
91. So like
okay.
I think the last I saw it was like 82 to
It's
96 or 98 depending on who you
yeah.
ask.
I find that it's sort of an odd, and it's interesting trying to figure out generations as if
Mhm.
all people in that generation are going to have the same experiences when you have to consider all of the intersections that are
Yeah,
related.
seriously.
Um, so frequently when I talk a lot to fairly younger people, because I'm talking on the pod to a lot of, I spoke to a couple of people who are significantly younger than me that are starting burlesque and are like,
Mm.
our references are I mean, I'm able to
Keep up a little bit. Yeah.
dabble.
Yeah.
I know who some of these folks are. But
Greetings, fellow youth.
it's I mean it's a real thing. But I remember also
Yeah.
like because I grew up sort of Gen X adjacent because my older
Mhm.
siblings were Gen
Yeah.
X and I followed them around.
Yeah.
So I was watching MTV at like 7, which uh adjusted how I looked at things. I also am a queer individual, so my perspective of how things work through the HIV crisis lens is very
Mhm.
specific. And then
Mhm.
you get into a lot of other like moments in time once you get to like 9/11 or you get
Yeah.
to usually
Major
tragedies.
cultural. Yeah.
Yeah. But I was talking to somebody recently about being married, and I was like, oh yeah, well, marriage wasn't ratified until after we were together.
Yeah. Yeah, I
And I was
remember
like,
doing
oh,
a high school thesis on gay marriage and why it should be legalized. Like, you know, it's
yeah.
it's one of those things, and I'll share this story very very quickly. But it's one of those
Huh?
things that I keep in mind every year at Pride. When I was living in Memphis, I was performing with a cirque troupe. Hello to QCG Productions, I love you all. And there was this one club that we were working in, Spectrum, RIP, and it was the only gay club, queer club in
Uh-huh.
Memphis at the time, like the only club, right? Bars aplenty, but club. And I went there when I was 18 with another friend of mine from high school that, because it was also one of the only ones that allowed 18 and up. And
Mm.
he was bi, I was bi, both of us just happened to like, I just happened to have these parts, he just happened to have those parts. We weren't attracted to each other at all. And we were going to this club specifically because we were like, hey, I will if you will, kind of thing, trying to
Yeah.
hype each other up, right? And we got called breeders within 10 minutes of walking into this strip club or walking
Okay.
into Spectrum, into this club.
Yeah.
Fast forward about 7 or 8 years, 10 years, whatever it was, I don't remember. But I was upstairs in this same club. I was upstairs in a different part of the building, looking out over this crowd with my QCG group. And I just remember we were covered in body glitter and it was the most miserable experience. And we're all just kind of sitting there tired. We're hot, we're sweaty, we're gross. And we look out and we see all these people and, couple of us made the comment of like, oh my God, there's so many kids. Ew, there's so many children. Like, cause, we're all ancient, almost 30-year-olds at the time.
Yeah.
And it just kind of hit me. And I like stopped and I don't even remember whose hand it was, but I grabbed somebody's hand and cause they were just next to me. And I'm like, put my hand on the railing and I'm like, there are so many kids.
Mm.
We couldn't have done this. Because when
Yeah.
I went with my friend, however many years before, we were two of the youngest people in there. Looking around, most everybody had to be 25 and up. So
Yeah.
it's just such a very unique experience to be on that weird like cusp.
Yeah. That's the thing. And also there's a lot of discussion about like when it comes to pride about how young some of the pride
Mhm.
goers are and how it's I think that these we wouldn't necessarily have as many of these questions if each
Mhm.
event didn't seem so special.
Yeah.
If we weren't so precious about these singular sometimes events representing all of gayness for the year,
Yeah.
maybe we wouldn't be quite so I don't know. I'm of several minds. I'm of several minds.
It's definitely hard, and it's one of those things that it's never going to be solved over one Zoom call, right? But like it's
No, that's what we're here for. Didn't you know
right,
this is actually
right.
just a backdoor? Let's all right, think tank. All right, let's
Right.
go.
We're here to solve the world's problems. Everybody be gayer.
Well, yeah,
Right.
that does seem like it might help.
Right. It would certainly work out some tension. Ah,
Um, speaking of awakenings, let's get into track number two.
yes. Okay. So I sent this one to you with two names attached because
Mhm.
two versions. There's two versions of the same track that are very special to me. And every burlesquer out there is going to roll their eyes, and I'm sorry to all of you, but I love you, and we're
You
here
know
with
what? Check
kindness and
yourselves,
love.
burlesquers. Check yourselves.
But it is specifically Jessica Rabbit's version of "Why Don't You Do Right" from Peggy Lee.
Yes.
And oh, it is such a classic. And you know, Who Framed Roger Rabbit has I won't spend too long on this one. Every millennial, we could give the same speech. This movie,
You know what? Teach
Jessica
the
Rabbit.
children. Use this
Right.
moment. Teach the children.
Okay. For my children out there who aren't
Yes.
aware, Jessica Rabbit is the OG baddie of baddies. Like, she could get it. Love that woman. I forget who she was originally voiced by, or Kathleen Turner. Thank you.
Kathleen Turner.
Yes,
Fabulous Kathleen
but
Turner speaking voice. Amy Irving
yes,
is the singing
is
voice.
the yes. And so just I remember seeing that one, and very similar to the Tex Avery cartoons. It was just like
Oh yeah.
oh, I can really do things with this. It was the natural progression of, seeing a cartoon wolf to now I'm seeing real life people get excited and like, oh,
Right.
this could be a thing.
She's sort of like an
And
elevated woman when
mhm,
the Tex Avery is sort of like a girlish. This
yes,
one is fully in her. This is
femme.
Pokemon evolution.
Yeah, yes, yeah. That's exactly how I've always kind of pictured it in my head. This is the Pokemon evolution. And she is such a badass. And of course, like shout out to Vicky Duggan, the model that her back of her dress was sort of modeled after.
Mm.
Cause oh God, just most glorious outfits. But anyway, so Jessica Rabbit is just one of those quintessential characters that when you see it, you'll get it. And if you haven't seen it, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Um, but Why Don't You Do Right, specifically that song, because of Jessica Rabbit, the very first burlesque show I was ever in, I wasn't actually dancing. I was stripping, or I was singing, excuse me. I
Oh,
can't talk tonight, Jesus.
no, you're good. Good, good, good.
So I wasn't actually dancing. I was just singing that one. And so
Okay.
I opted to sing Why Don't You Do Right. Um, and about a week before the show was supposed to go on, they asked me to sing Fever as well. And I bombed that one so hard because of stage fright.
Mm.
And then came back in the second half and was able to pull it together with Why Don't You Do Right because I knew that one. And so, Why Don't You Do Right was sort of what made me get back on the horse of like, no, 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 I'm going to do this. Cause after finishing Fever, I almost was just like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to be in these shows. I never want to do this again, you know? And then I went out and I nailed Why Don't You Do Right. And so that was like, no, I need to come back. And several years later, I did.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Yeah, she's sort of the the magic that happened to create Jessica Rabbit, because
Yes.
an insane visual model where it verges on grotesque because of the
Yeah.
proportions and
Mhm.
the heavy drag makeup. Like
Oh, for
those
sure.
lids,
Divine.
the
That's divine all
whole
day. Yeah.
the situation, it's beyond understanding. And her being sort of like this sex symbol
Yes.
is a fascinating commentary on our culture.
Yeah.
In
I
a world
love that.
where we have such like drag and trans panic as well. Like maybe you guys should just think about
Yeah.
our, like our roots here, folks. Like maybe just
Right.
consider.
Right. Like maybe just chill out a little.
Just maybe just realize. And I do love also that it took three women to create the quote perfect woman. We have Betsy Brantley as our body double for Jessica Rabbit. We have
Uh-huh.
Kathleen Turner as the voice, and Amy Irving, aka the former Mrs. Steven Spielberg,
Oh, yeah,
who
that's right.
divorced
That,
and lives very comfortably.
love that
Um,
for her. Fuck that napkin.
and a lot of folks may also know her. She's Sue Snell from Carrie. She's the nice girl
Mhm.
from Carrie, as well as she was in Yentl and a bunch of
Oh,
other things.
you was.
But it's so funny. It's just so funny that it's all together. So we're gonna do proper Amy Irving Jessica Rabbit version.
Yes.
But there are a lot of really great versions of this song. The Peggy
Mhm.
Lee actually has two standard version, one with the Benny Goodman Orchestra, one when
Yep.
she got her solo career. The original was called Weed Smoker's Dream, which was then popularized by a black singer named Lil Green, who of course, doesn't get the props she
Of
deserves. So
course
I
not.
encourage folks to listen to that.
Oh, see, I had
Um,
never heard that little tidbit, so thank you for sharing
yeah,
that.
it's a slight, it's just a different read, and it's also I think a year or two earlier than Peggy Lee.
Yeah.
So the discussion on the songwriting is disputed because so much of jazz and so much of was sort of improv, and things it's sort of
Yeah.
like storytelling. Like each
Yeah.
version, when you went to Chicago, you heard this version. You went to New York, you heard
Mhm.
this version.
Blues is a
Um,
lot like that too, so yeah.
right, and this is sort of that perfect blend of the two. Is that
Yeah.
bluesy jazz? Because this is the fabulous Why Don't You Do Right from Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
You had play.
She's married to Roger Rabbit. What a lucky girl.
You better believe it, Buster. My favorite part of that whole clip is when she's walking past and it's just titty, titty, titty.
Yeah, yeah. I've
That was
gone
the
down a
one
bit of
thing that
a
I always dreamed of having, and I never did get there, but one day
the
maybe.
bosom.
Yeah, I never. Yeah,
Yeah,
I got one that's here for the party and another one that showed up late. So
that's the party fit.
yeah.
Were you big into animation and the cartoon world in general as a kid? I mean, you mentioned Tex Avery and Jessica Rabbit as two very formative, but were you also into like the magic of it all with the
Oh, massively. And I mean, even still to this day, a little bit. Like I still have. I watch K-pop Demon Hunters as one of my comfort movies. Like a lot of kids' cartoons and stuff resonated really deeply with me as a kid. Especially growing up, especially growing up as a late diagnosed ADHD femme. Growing up in California, I was, I fit in with all the other kids. And then when we moved to, Mississippi, just south of Memphis, when I was a little bit older, like I got, that's a big shift culturally. So the shock
yeah.
was massive going from being this like rambunctious, crazy, leader of the pack sort of, hell on wheels kind of kid to, oh no, people think I'm weird. Like it really, really like just shifted everything so dramatically that for me, I really kind of clammed up and just sank into cartoons and books. Because that was just really all I had to do. It was not great. But it also brought a lot of solace, like again, growing with my grandparents in California, I had plenty of friends there, but there was still a lot of times where, the grandparents would just, because this is still when I was very much raised in a, like, the street lights are on, get out, don't come back till the street lights are on. There we go.
Yeah.
And so like cartoons were another one of those things that I would just go and sit in front of, when they were like, okay, we've had enough of you, go. And there was just a lot of comfort in those because things made sense in cartoons and books. There was patterns. There was a line through everything. And so, yeah, I really resonated with them, and it was no telling which ones or why. Redheads obviously were always kind of a thing, especially. But yeah, I don't know. I've never really thought about it too much, but now that I'm sitting here talking to, thinking out to answer the question, I'm like, oh yeah, I guess they were bigger than I realized.
Well, they were great. They were a great equalizer for a while too, because as a a fairly faggy young kid myself, it wasn't uncool in 1989 to like The Little Mermaid. That was actually like mainstream. Boys and girls can both like that.
Yeah.
And Aladdin, boys and girls could both like that. And a little bit later for me, like The Lion King, 93, 94. I
went as Simba
10
for
or 11.
Halloween.
There you go. And not Nala. You went as Simba specifically.
Yeah. My cousin got to go as Nala, and I was so mad.
Oh. But these are sort of like, and also there's this great line in the Golden Girls where Rose, who is ostensibly our innocent, is upset that they're doing the show Henny Penny Chicken Little. And she's like, well, if this is a tragedy, why would you tell kids this terrible story? And Dorothy's just like, well, fairy tales and folklore, for that virtue, gives life lessons to kids and puts it in their terms. Like, it gives them these sort of necessary frameworks that you can and then you realize, oh, okay, Lion King is Hamlet. The Little Mermaid is, well, that version of it is a choice. But then as you learn about the making of it, oh, it's a queer allegory, or it's about the other trying to assimilate.
When you read into the oh god, I'm forgetting his name, Alan, the
Howard
composer?
Ashman.
Yeah, Howard Ashman. Thank you.
Yeah.
The
legendary
composer.
Yeah.
Like, even if the cartoon itself, the Disney version, wasn't wasn't the outright queer allegory, it was. It very much was.
Yeah, throw in
they
Ursula
made sure of it.
And throw in the Eric's ostensible mentor, who is a confirmed bachelor. Like, there are all of these. They're all of
and
confirmed
being
bachelor
a daddy.
You figure these things out, and a lot of that's what subtext is for, and that's there's a lot to discuss about, like the queer coding of Jafar and Scar, and even going back to Maleficent. Like, there's sort of there's these things, and I think there's a reason that there's a Disney adult. I think it's hard to not find comfort in that, and especially since the world is always going to be on fire. It doesn't have to be, but it is always on fire. That we find these sort of parallels and comfort.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I grew up, like I mentioned earlier, into cartoons and books and stuff, and I was very much into like Aesop's fables. And I was actually thinking about this earlier today of like, not enough people have learned about or have heard that fable of like the scorpion and the frog. It's like, and I'll just leave it at that. Y'all can go research. I trust you.
Yes.
But like, it's very much one of those things where, a lot of people talk about millennials and generation, or as a generation, of being too soft or whatever, and like, oh, you guys are obsessed with psychology and you guys are all this and you're looking for this and and like, look at what we had as media. Yeah, when you start looking back at a lot of these old films and stuff that were being made, and you start really, and this is something that I've thought about, especially like being a mother, like when you start thinking about the people behind the stories, not just the story itself that's on the screen in front of you, but the people making it, like Howard Ashman. When you start looking at the fact that Nathan Lane hadn't yet come out when they made Lion King.
Or Birdcage. Like some of the...
Or Birdcage, yes, thank you. Yeah, oh yeah, which just had its anniversary.
Yeah.
And like, you really start thinking about what went into these films beyond just that. And it's such a fascinating thing for me. And I think about that and I look around at people wondering, like, how did millennials turn out with this? And I'm going, how do you not know? How do you not see, you know? And again, I'm one of those, like, pattern recognition for me is like stupid easy and like scary sometimes. So for me, 2 plus 4 can equal green, and that's fine. I get it. I see where you went there. And to me, it's so mind-boggling sometimes seeing people not be able to understand that, and then I have to remember that that's not how everybody's brain works.
Yeah, but their history does repeat, and we
Oh,
can
for
see
sure.
parallels. And if we can at least acknowledge what was, will inform what's later, even in a
Yes.
good way,
Yes.
even in a okay, but we can now let's reclaim that. Let's make it a little better.
Mhm.
Um, I think that would be
Well,
useful.
we grew up on a lot of us on movies that were, Land Before Time, All Dogs Go to Heaven, Homeward Bound, things like that, where it's like, oh no, this might not be okay, but the underlying message is still, but it's gonna be okay.
Right.
It's not right now, but it will be. Here's
Yeah.
how. We'll show you. And so, I don't know. I think that's kind of, again, working through this as I'm talking about it. So if I'm rambling, I
Mhm.
apologize. But
Please, I love it.
just kind of realizing, like, I think that sort of has kind of gone through my life, and looking at the list of other songs that we have, I'm like, oh yeah, how
Yeah.
did I not notice? Yeah. So,
Well, a lot of it is also the framework is chosen family. A lot
mm,
of it. I mean, you do have your Wizard of Oz, your Alice in Wonderlands, where they're trying to get home.
yeah,
But even in something like Homeward Bound, they're trying to get home. But how they get home is with the resources around them.
yes,
And in theory, they will go home that much more enriched. So it
mhm,
still has this element of um, it's okay to also explore if you have the folks around you.
yeah. Well, it doesn't negate that community as a resource.
Right, right. Well, and then of course you have the folks who are like, why would you ever want to leave Wonderland? Why would you ever
Yeah.
want to leave Oz? Why are you going back to Kansas? Like it also like because then you have like the the folks with whatever
Mhm.
exciting
Mm.
aquarium lives inside their brain that says stay there.
Yeah.
Why
Why
are you
wouldn't I?
going back? And
Yeah.
because that's also propaganda. That's also sort of like the choices of the artists or the writers or what have you. Um,
Mhm.
and yet they manage to get home and they're safe and everything is good.
Well,
Um,
and I also take a little bit of the stance too of, and this is totally tongue in cheek. It's serious, but not. It's one of those things of everything artistic is a form of propaganda. Every
oh yeah.
piece of art is a form of propaganda. It's just
Hmm.
a matter of how, why, what the intent was. Whether
That's
or
true.
not it's a political propaganda
Oh yeah.
could, maybe not, who knows? But everything is propaganda.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's a reason that Night of the Living Dead came out the way when it did. There is a
Yes.
reason that the Hunger Games came out when it did. All of these
Gaslight.
things, all of these things, all of these things.
Yeah.
Um, this is a thread. We're going to keep on going, but while we're at this impasse, tell me about track number three.
Yeah, this is actually a good one. So our next one is Linkin Park, Numb. This is going hand in hand with our song that comes after this. There's a little bit of a story here.
Okay.
This is fair warning. This is where it is going to get just a teensy bit sad.
Okay.
I have not had an easy life. I have had a life very much touched by death several times over, by a lot of people that were very, very close to me. And this song in particular, I wanted to have one, because of what it means for me, and two, because yesterday was the birthday of a very dear friend of mine that passed away when we were 18. He would have been 36 yesterday. So, you know, and it still hits me like this. So we were that close. My son is actually named after him. Um, and he's the one that introduced me to this song and to this band in general. And Linkin Park, again, quintessential millennial band, especially for millennial those of us that were, struggling with mental health issues. I know many, many, many of us really, really connected with Chester in particular. And having lost several years later a friend as well to another friend to suicide, and just with the different deaths I've had in my life, Linkin Park and Chester especially, because fuck the group going on right now. But Chester in particular,
Yeah.
they really helped me get through. And Meteora in particular, this album really helped me get through a lot of the darkest points of my life, and really helped me sort of, I don't know, they helped me realize that I could use my anger to keep going, that I could use that anger to fuel myself, to go, no, fuck you, I'm not giving up before you. Like, they helped me process that, because so many of us are taught that something like that, an uncharitable thought like that, is oh so terrible. And no, it's not for those of us who have reason to think that way. I'll say it that way. And so it was just one of those things that I will forever be grateful to Chester Bennington and his entire family, for what he was able to bring to my life, and for what my friend Ko was able to bring to my life. He and his family were incredible, and they had such an impact on me. It's such an important and pivotal moment of my life. And so this song is in here partly for him, and then just partly because of what all of the rest of this and going into our next song meant for me.
This is from Meteora. This is Numb from Linkin Park.
Ah.
That was Numb, everybody. Yeah. Yeah, he had I have to admit, so I'm not necessarily drawn to a lot of music where there is yelling or shouting or that sort of guttural release.
The screamo.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I mean, I can. And very usually, if I am, it's almost definitely a woman, which is interesting. I'm more drawn to female vocalists anyway. There's very few men in the general rotation. There's a couple,
Same.
but not a lot. And a lot of them are either more theatrical in their leanings. So someone like, I like Queen, I like Mika, I like Jason Mraz, I liked I'm really into Z Machine, who's out right now. There's sort of like a flamboyancy about those artists. So therefore I think
they're
I get
safe.
away with it. Yeah. I don't know. And I think also, I just have always more identified with femininity in music for whatever reason that is, even if it's like unexpected femininity. But I will say, Chester's such a such a beautiful voice. It's also just such a. What I've Done is actually a song I really like a lot.
Yes,
I really like a lot. Yeah.
I will forever sing Chester's praises, especially if you ever get a chance to listen to some of the ones that have been isolated. I'm assuming what I've Done is one of the ones you might have heard that was isolated. That's one of the more common ones. His voice, just the fact that he was able to convey so much with, quote unquote, so little, right, that he's doing. But I have a very limited background of training in choir, in that I took it for years in high school and middle school and stuff. So I have a very rudimentary knowledge, and even I know the breath control that man had was just top tier, top tier, absolutely insane. And the amount of vocal warm-ups it takes to do that kind of growl, to do that raspiness that he had, that would then also protect his vocal cords, because you can damage them. They're like any other muscle. They can get torn and strained and, all these other terrible, awful surgical need things. And just the fact that he was able to connect with so many people with this gift that he had, I'll just forever be so grateful to him and his family. And his son seems to be cut directly from him, which is really cool. So I'm excited to see if his son ever gets into projects and stuff down the line. But And he might, and I just haven't been paying attention because I try not to creep on people's family. That feels weird, you know? So
Well, you indicated the next song is sort of a companion piece to that one. So tell me, why don't we lead into that one?
yeah. So this one, I'm a huge historical nerd, and I really have a not even guilty pleasure. I will devour historical dramas.
Mm.
And one of them is Rain, and it's about Mary, Queen of Scots. It's another UPS special for those of you that know. It's wonderful. I love it. Um, or CW, I guess, was what I changed it to. Anyway, irrelevant. And I heard the song on there for the first time, and I just remember the episode. The character Mary was having a miscarriage, and at the time, I was going through some medical stuff, and it just really hit me. And so the song I've listened to 1,000 times over, and one day I want to do something with it. But the song is Karina Round's "For Everything a Reason." And, I mentioned earlier my friend Ko. He's the one that taught me that everything happens for a reason. He used to say it a lot when we were kids, and it drove me up a fucking wall when we were kids because, nobody ever wants to hear that, right? And I will never be the one to, say it to people. And like, if you tell me, no, it doesn't, then okay, I'm not going to sit here and argue with you. But personally, I believe that everything happens for a reason. And again, as I mentioned earlier, I've had a lot of death in my life. I have been very close to several deaths, unfortunately, like shown up before first responders, kind of close, which was weird. And it's one of those things where the weird and awful and terrible things that have happened in my life almost always repeat somewhere else down the line in my life, either to me or to someone I love and care about. And recently, someone I love and care about went through something very tragic where she was there before first responders. And she called me when it happened, or like right after it happened, and was just talking to me. And I was able to like sit there and talk with her and, calm her down and talk to her about things, and was able to convince her to, go get some help and all these things. And I'm very, very proud of her, and I love her so much. And I just think, if it hadn't been for the other incidents in my life that were similar, I wouldn't have known what to do. I wouldn't have been prepared to be there for my friend. And so I do take a very stoic, like original stoic, not current new wave fanboy stoicism, but like OG text stoic sort of view of like being grateful for the awful things that have happened, because they've made me who I am, and they've made me stronger so that I can better provide support for myself and for others when I come up against those same or similar things. So yeah, for everything a reason.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. All right, this is Karina Round For Everything a Reason. Listen. Very beautiful. That was For Everything a Reason from Karina Round. I gotta admit, I don't know the vocalist, but I love this sort of reciprocity in music sharing, because I'm going to go down a rabbit hole and find out.
Oh, she's incredible. She is such a songbird. She reminds me a lot vocally of like Florence and the Machine.
Florence Welch.
She reminds me a little bit of that, and then like the girl from, and almost a little bit of the girl from the Zombies. I can't remember her name.
Wait, do you mean the Cranberries?
Cranberries, thank you. Yes.
Dolores O'Riordan. Yes.
That sort of lilty, and especially later in the song, you really hear it. She just has the most beautiful lilting voice.
Yeah, pretty. Well, thank you for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you find that a lot of the songs that you've found as a performer, as a show person, are informed by music that you would listen to normally, or are they? Is there sort of another side? Okay.
Yeah,
well, 1,000%. Some people, I think that they almost, since they're a heightened version of themselves, there's like this other chapter that they would listen to, but they don't listen to necessarily off stage. They're sort of, they put it on or something like that. They only.
No, and that makes total sense. I think for me, Twen and my civilian persona are so ingrained and enraptured. Like it really is like just turning the volume up on my civilian personality, and bringing the inhibition down. And so for me, when I'm listening to music, there are so many times, especially when I'm sitting with my husband here, who has such a wide array of music that he listens to and such an eclectic taste, that we'll just be sitting here jamming. We have music going in our house all the time. Yeah. And so we'll be sitting here, doing dishes, cleaning litter boxes, whatever. And one of us will have a song on, and you'll just hear from across the house, like, well, send that to me right now. And it's usually me yelling at him to send me something I could strip to. Because we have just so much music all the time. And so I love incorporating stuff I would normally listen to. I love incorporating stuff that is totally, new and weird for me. Like I'm working on 2 acts right now that are metal burlesque, and I'm not normally like a metal person. Mm-hmm. But the stories that I'm building around them and the reason I'm doing them is one that is wholly me. And so it's helping me to sort of put that on. And for me in this process, it feels like just putting on a little bit of another costume, like, or a different costume, and like, it's still me. It's still my costume. It's just a slightly different version, yeah. And I'm really, really excited about those pieces.
Cool. We're going to close out side A with the 5th track. Tell me at this halfway point what we're going with.
Ooh, and this is where we get to have a total vibe switch, and end on, again, another millennial eye roll. So Twen, in the annals of history, that is her backstory.
Yeah.
She was very much a product of and born and exploded from the womb of Coyote Ugly Saloon. I would not be who I am if it were not for my time working with the Coyotes in Memphis, and with meeting Lil, like the Lil. She's amazing. Love her to bits. And so this song is LeAnn Rimes, Can't Fight the Moonlight. And I wanted this one specifically because wee baby Twen, when she was not but, oh God, probably 10, 11, because the movie was released in 2000. And I think I saw it for the first time in around 2001. And I was hooked. I knew immediately I wanted to grow up to be Rachel, the girl who cuts the guy's hair, for those that have seen the movie. And, the whole, she had to take anger management classes, and I gave her a pay raise. And turns out, kids, you can achieve your dreams, because I very much did. I started working at Coyote Ugly when I was 21 and was just a problem child. Like, I grew so much from my time at Coyote, and I learned so much, and I tip my hat to everybody I worked with except for one, and he knows who he is. And just, that was the first place that really made me like really grow up and realize that a lot of my worldviews needed to be challenged. And it really did it in a good way, in a constructive way for me, a very painful way at times, but in a really good way that was necessary for how I learn. And so Can't Fight the Moonlight is my nod to them, because if it were not for Miss LeAnn Rimes and the entire cast and crew of Coyote Ugly, the movie, and all of the wonderful, incredible, beautiful, powerful, amazing women I got to work with when I was at Coyote Ugly in real life, I would not be the Twen that we all know and love today.
All right. Yeah, what a great soundtrack that Coyote Ugly has as well. In addition to the LeAnn Rimes tracks, there's a lot of really great 90s jams in there as well.
Oh yeah.
And 80s jams too, because one can't forget Need You Tonight as well up there.
Yes, yeah.
All right, let's take a listen to it. This is from Coyote Ugly and the album I Need You. It's LeAnn Rimes with Can't Fight the Moonlight. That was Can't Fight the Moonlight from LeAnn Rimes. Yeah. Another Diane Warren written track, and Trevor Horn, who is a magnificent producer who everything from like Kiss from a Rose
Yes.
to oh God,
You can hear it in all of his tracks too.
all
He's
the
very
2000s, all the 2000s.
yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. But he was everywhere.
Everywhere.
His is that quintessential little snare pop. That yeah, like that's all him.
That's all him.
I just remembered. I just had a flashback. I hadn't even thought of this, but I haven't thought of this in years. But I just remember having I auditioned in middle school choir. We were doing like our spring concert or whatever, and I remembered auditioning to sing that song, and I had to go and get the karaoke soundtrack for that CD because I couldn't find it anywhere. And this is before I knew how to work LimeWire. So I had to go find the karaoke CD, right? The karaoke CD, and I had to sing that. And I thought I was so ready, and I was so down, and I so had it. And my choir teacher, God love her, she was trying so hard not to laugh at me the entire time. But I will still sing it at karaoke now.
Were you just not able to hit it, or just the maturity of it?
A little bit of both. I am very much like a lower end of alto, and as a kid, I could kind of get into like the lower end of soprano, but as I've aged, my voice has dropped, so now I'm firmly down at the bottom with all of the other forgotten children. And so, like, I just did not have the range, didn't have the maturity. I think I was maybe 12 singing this song, and like thought it was so salacious that no one would be around, So, yeah.
Well, I mean, that's a sort of parallel with LeAnn Rimes herself, because she was also like, what, an 11-year-old at one point singing?
I swear. She was one of the OG, she was up there with Christina and Brittany on like the Mickey Mouse Club,
Star
right?
Search. She was Star Search, but similar sort of vibe. Yeah. Yeah, very similar.
The Music That Made We is produced by Viktor Devon. The Burlesque Podcast Network is the creation of me, Viktor Devon. Podcast artwork is by Logan Lefeur. We Burlesque and podcast cover art photography is by Atticus Stevenson. The theme song, On a 45, is by This Way to the Egress and is used with permission. Incidental music is via Pixabay under the Fair Use Doctrine. Visit WeBurlesquePodcast.com for notes on this and every episode. You can follow We Burlesque and Viktor Devon on just about every platform, follow @ symbol before it, and remove all the spaces. You can also support the podcast via patreon.com/WeBurlesque or via Venmo by searching VIKTORBEVONNE. Don't got the cash? Who does? Please follow, subscribe, and get 5 stars on every platform you can get your hands on. It really does help. All original material is owned by Viktor Devon and by Ellison Burlesque Corporation. All of the materials are property of their respective copyright. No infringement, while likely, is intended. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes of criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair uses are used permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Non-profit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. All rights and credit go directly to the rightful owners. No copyright infringement intended. Please don't sue me.